Welcome back to another episode of Engineering Today, and I hope you're all having a great time. During the FAA's environmental review, SpaceX's proposal for 120 annual Starship launches at Cape Canaveral has sparked concerns from ULA and Blue Origin. They're worried about the potential impacts on current launch operations. SpaceX intends to use Florida launch pads for a variety of missions – Starlink satellites, customer payloads, and NASA's Artemis missions. They also face challenges in developing a human-rated lunar Starship and perfecting orbital refueling technology. The larger 492-foot Starship variant, which requires substantial propellant, is expected to create significant environmental and operational challenges. ULA has highlighted issues such as evacuation zones and acoustic disturbances affecting nearby facilities. They emphasize the potential risks to national security satellite launches, particularly at Launch Complex 39A due to proximity concerns. SpaceX wants to launch its Starship rocket up to 44 times a year from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. However, this plan has worried rivals like Blue Origin and United Launch Alliance, who are asking regulators to make sure other launch providers aren't disrupted too much. Blue Origin even suggested that Starship operations should be limited to certain times, and that other providers should have the first pick if there are conflicting launches. They aim to launch Starship from SLC-37 up to 76 times a year, making it 120 launches per year in a 10-kilometer area on the Florida coast. SLC-37 was once used for NASA's Saturn rocket and United Launch Alliance's Delta IV rockets. The Federal Aviation Administration is working on an impact statement for SpaceX's Starship launch plans at Kennedy Space Center's Pad 39A. At the same time, the Space Force is making an environmental impact statement for SLC-37, considering the option of SpaceX building a new launch pad called SLC-50. Elon Musk sees Starship as a key tool for colonizing Mars and spreading human consciousness through space. He wants to launch Starship multiple times a day, each time carrying hundreds of tons of cargo to low Earth orbit or further. However, United Launch Alliance is worried that just one Starship launch site could disrupt other launch operations in the area and cause significant environmental impacts. In response to SpaceX's ambitious plans, Blue Origin has suggested several measures to reduce potential problems. These include a requirement for SpaceX or the U.S. government to compensate third parties for losses caused by Starship operations, including commercial disruptions. Blue Origin is concerned that the impacts of SpaceX's operations will be even greater if they come from two launch sites close to each other. And now the Jeff Bezos-owned company has filed a complaint with the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration against SpaceX. The FAA is currently preparing an environmental impact statement for the Super Heavy booster, and Blue Origin's complaint focuses on the environmental and safety risks of the Super Heavy booster. They point out that a previous launch caused significant heat, pressure, and debris. They also highlight that the booster uses a large amount of liquid methane, which could affect surrounding areas, including Blue Origin's facilities. Elon Musk responded to this complaint on social media with a post mocking Blue Origin. He referenced Blue Origin's history of lawsuits against SpaceX, implying that this complaint is another legal maneuver rather than fair competition. Musk, being Musk, called them the Sioux Origin. We already know that SpaceX plans to launch its Starship rocket from Boca Chica later this month, and they're building a second launch tower there. In Florida, SpaceX is setting up 2 more launch pads. But there's been some concern about SpaceX's impact on the environment. A group called Save RGV says SpaceX is releasing industrial wastewater without permission, and they're planning to sue over it soon. Local officials in Cameron County, though, are happy with SpaceX. They say SpaceX has created over 3,400 full-time jobs and many more indirect jobs. The company's also invested more than $3 billion in South Texas. Officials are optimistic about SpaceX's future growth and its plans to explore space, return to the Moon, and eventually colonize Mars. On the other hand, NASA is working on new scientific, educational, and technological projects in low Earth orbit to benefit humanity and support space exploration on the Moon and Mars. As NASA moves towards using commercially owned space stations, it's important to plan for safely bringing down the International Space Station when its mission ends in 2030. NASA has chosen SpaceX to build and deliver a U.S. deorbit vehicle, which will help safely bring the ISS down without risking populated areas. This choice helps NASA and its partners make a smooth transition in low Earth orbit and supports future commercial space stations. Ken Bowersox, a NASA official, said that selecting this deorbit vehicle will help ensure a safe transition and continued use of space near Earth. SpaceX will develop the vehicle, but NASA will own and operate it once it's built. The ISS and the deorbit vehicle will break up safely during re-entry. Since 1998, 5 space agencies – CSA, ESA, JAXA, NASA, and Roscosmos – have managed the ISS together, with each responsible for its own hardware. The ISS depends on contributions from all partners to function. The US, Japan, Canada, and ESA countries will operate the ISS until 2030 and Russia until at least 2028. All 5 agencies share the responsibility of safely bringing down the ISS. The contract with SpaceX is worth up to $843 million, and the launch service for the deorbit vehicle will be decided later. For 24 years, the ISS has been a unique place for scientific research in areas like Earth and space science, biology, human health, physical sciences, and technology. The ISS has hosted over 3,300 experiments, providing valuable lessons for future commercial space stations. Moreover, NASA announced that it had given SpaceX a contract worth about $69 million. This contract is for launching the Compton Spectrometer and Imager, or COSI, spacecraft into low Earth orbit. NASA and SpaceX will use the Falcon 9 rocket to launch a space telescope to study high-energy gamma-ray light in the universe. This small gamma-ray astronomy mission is planned to lift off in August 2027 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. NASA said its Wide-Field Gamma-Ray Telescope will study energetic phenomena in the Milky Way and beyond. This includes the creation and destruction of matter and antimatter and the final stages of stars' lives. COSI will explore the origins of the Milky Way's galactic positrons, find where new elements are made in our galaxy, study gamma-ray polarization, and find sources for multi-messenger signals. The mission was initially planned for 2025 but was delayed to 2027 due to budget constraints. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your valuable feedback in the comment section. This will help us to improve.